This video is intended to describe a lightblade talisman named Expansive Love. Joining me today will be my whimsical stick figure chakra map for visual guide reference, as well as this lovely sewed-on green leather at the behest of the recipient to be installed like so once this is fully notarized. And I'll be discussing the composition of the blade band scaffolding seen right here, going into this lateral band right here, going up the sides, lateral band as well as the side right here, as well as the apex band as a foundational premise of the energy circulation of this entire device, which vaguely resembles a figure 8 for perpetual recirculated energetic momentum. Starting off with the transmutation ratio, consisting of smoky quartz and hematite in ignition sequence seen like so all through this entire section. Smoky quartz is a fantastic grounder of negativity into positivity by taking all the excess energy, grounding through the root, into the earth stars, into the earth for reprocessing. In tandem with hematite, a iron-based mineral that grounds all energy very firmly through the root as well, and grounds into the earth stars, into the earth for reprocessing. So the two together in ignition sequence is what I deem to be the transmutation ratio that is very effective for being a strong grounding of negativity by grounding into the earth for reprocessing, almost like energetic dialysis, or you can consider it like etheric Teflon as a joking reference, which has many purposes in a light tech device. But of course, having the grounding purification foundation also brings all the other exotic components yet be mentioned into the tangibility range to indeed ground all this energy to indeed make the magic real. As a preface. Then this apex band right here, where the necklace eventually will be installed right here, is consisting of tiger's eye to be a lovely stimulant and aligner of the solar plexus, sacrum, and the base, the lower three chakras, that be very advantageously employed for the benefit of the recipient's vocation, with clear quartz right here to work as a neutral energy accelerant of this particular sequence. So the tiger's eye, of course, has a very strong aspect of actually stimulating the lower three chakras, which is indeed our physical energy endurance. Hence, the employment of this frequency is of the essence to truly honor the vocation of the recipient. Going into the transmutation ratio once again, then going into the pink ray expansive love archetypal designation. Starting off with kunzite, a lithium-based lovely pink ray heart stimulant that's very soothing to the emotional body and produces a very calming, loving frequency vibration. Then going into clear quartz to be a neutral acceleration into rose quartz, the quintessential pink ray love frequency generator of the mineral kingdom. It's quite common, thank goodness. So the two of them together both stimulate the pink ray high heart octave, and so they work together to do exactly what the archetypal name implies, to be expansive love. So of course that goes like so, ignites in the sequence and grounds back into the transmutation ratio seen here, which would indeed be the entirety of the blade band scaffolding notarized thus far, which also works as a preface to have the other frequencies in ignition sequence run through a closed loop reactive circuit through this primary wire right here to basically, of course, circulate in what, like I mentioned, vaguely resembles a figure 8 to contain and recirculate the energy for perpetual vibrational momentum. Okay, so starting off at the apex of the blade band right here is the lovely morganite. Morganite is actually a pink ray cousin to the famous emerald, which means its dense atomical structure has a pink ray stimulation that's quite intensive, and I'm quite sure that if this was discovered more in ancient times, this would be a legendary precious stone of ancient antiquity, much like its cousin, emerald. Because this pink ray emanation, being very dense, very powerful, is a very powerful rendition of the pink ray love frequency. Then right here underneath that would be fulgurite. Fulgurite is actually petrified lightning, which literally captures the energy of lightning into sand, which has a very intensive full light body activation, literally the mimicking frequency of lightning, and was well utilized by First Nation shamans to intensify their prayers back to spirit, back to creator. So it has a very powerful manifestation prayer enhancement, well notarized in magical utilization of ancient past. And also, it works for a great, very fully stimulating energizer, which is very, very conducive to physical energy as well, which is, once again, one of the priorities of crafting a device to be of maximum efficiency for the recipient is that of physical endurance for her vocation. Then right here is a very special variety of serpentine called infinitite. Infinitite is a very fantastic Kundalini stimulant of the entire chakra column. It also works to very quickly dismantle any patterns that be impeding a natural healthy light body. Just like its vibrational cousin, seraphinite. Seraphinite is an incredible stone named after the seraphim archangels' lovely green appearance that obviously has a very powerful green ray heart chakra stimulation. Yet seraphinite also has a full light body stimulation, which means all the chakras are actually activated by this unified field generator. It works very quickly to dismantle any patterns of dis-ease through the entire energy body for perpetual glowing health, physically transferred, essentially. And I consider that a quintessential master healer frequency in the mineral kingdom that quickly dismantles outmattled patterns that would be, of course, emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, all aspects of any kind of deficiency would be rapidly expunged, but very gently soothing to the entire body as well. Then down here would be black tektite. Black tektite is product of nickel iron meteorite impacting the sand, carrying that extraterrestrial cosmic jolt into reality. So the aspect of black tektite is a fantastic stimulant of the entire energy body, from luckily black ray ground up for a very full light body activation. Since it carries that extraterrestrial cosmic jolt, it also is very empowering to the energy field from a ground up perspective to raise vibrations literally from the ground up as a great little advantage. Then right here would be Libyan gold tektite. Libyan gold tektite is a very special golden ray stone utilized by the ancient Egyptian pharaohs to be put into scarab beetles into their finery breastplates they'd wear as the Magi God Kings. And it's a tremendously powerful golden ray stone that is very stimulating to the sacrum and solar plexus chakras, as well as the entire light body. So you can consider that being a fire elemental frequency with storm overtones that's very illuminating to the entire energy field. So it's also very energizing as well, and it's a very powerful solar plexus manifestation agent, literally of the Magi God Kings of old, to be utilized once again in this timeline. And also could be considered a tremendous dharmic accelerant to align one's will with divine will, essentially. Then right here would be the legendary moldavite. Moldavite has become quite famous these days and just notarized or even infamous for its dramatic vibrational effects on reality. Moldavite is a very powerful, mysterious space rock that has a very strong green ray heart chakra stimulation of storm elemental composition, yet also aligns one dramatically to their higher self template. So the aspect of why moldavite has become quite infamous being such a notorious dharmic accelerant is also the aspect to rapidly align one's reality to their true dharmic self and not their false self, which can change one's life very quickly to their highest spiritual configuration. And so, of course, as a preface and a contingency, to mitigate that excessive spiritual swift powerhouse that moldavite is, it of course has this entire subroutine with the transmutation to ground out the excess energy of the transition, as well as the stability repair, which I'll be mentioning momentarily, to mitigate the intensive timeline whiplash that moldavite has become quite infamous for. Then right here, above that, is the lovely sunstone. Sunstone's a great fiery sacrum and solar plexus stimulant that is very, very effective for physically energizing the body as well as being a very sunny, fun energy that makes one feel very good. Quite simply, to be quite succinct. So this next section I'll be discussing, after this video is concluded, we'll have this leather hood installed like so for many variable purposes I'll get into right now before I notarize the composition underneath the hood. So, the aspect of the lovely green leather also works as a color therapy resonance of that light, beautiful green emanation, which of course will govern the energy output as a whole of the device. And B is a way to insulate these excess stones to condense the energy through this blade band and this blade band just a little bit further to basically take precautions to take all the excess energies and give it a stronger focus to the designated emanations, as well as a way to protect all the subtle stones stacked in here, as it's being obviously worn and wielded by the recipient, so to ensure their safety in the vibrational structure. And also D, it definitely is an aesthetic completion at the very end, but more than aesthetics, it indeed is a functional component for the entirety of the device. Okay, in this section I'll be discussing in one shot because they play off each other for a rather critical role. Starting off with red jasper. So before I get to the dissertation, the aspects of jaspers and agates are the most stabilized vibrations of the different color ranges as well as the elemental correspondences in the mineral kingdom. So this indeed has a pretty crucial role in the equilibrium of the entirety of the device, which we mentioned right now. Starting off with red jasper, the quintessential earth, red ray, root chakra stabilizer in the mineral kingdom. Then going into fire agate down here. Fire agate is a fire elemental stabilizer of the root, the sacrum, and the solar plexus. Then going into moss green agate seen right here. Moss green agate is the quintessential water elemental stabilizer of the heart chakra. Then going into blue lace agate right here to be the quintessential stabilizer of the fifth chakra, also in the water elemental range. Then right here would be grape agate, which is a purple ray agate to stabilize the 6th and 7th, which would be the wind range. So the aspect of why it's crucial to discuss these in one shot for full comprehension is the aspect of taking the terrestrial four elements of earth, fire, water, and wind in the most stabilized varieties I can get my hands on for one reactive circuit is to indeed stabilize those four terrestrial elements to have perpetual stabilized, most importantly, equilibrium for the recipient's longevity in that regard. So this right here is a lovely specimen of ruby and zoisite. So ruby, of course, is a very famous red ray royal root chakra stimulant of great notoriety throughout human history, and is a very powerful root chakra stimulant, like I mentioned, which is very, very advantageous for the gusto passion of life frequency. But the aspect of the zoisite, the green found in it, makes for a fantastic heart-mind coherence, which is of the essence for any spiritual aspirant, in my humble opinion, to have the stimulation of the heart and the mind in conjunction. So the aspect of having the red ray ruby with heart-mind coherence is definitely indeed a great fertile grounds for the birthing of one's true self-connection to creation with gusto, most importantly. So that's a fantastic addition right there. Then down here on the back side is actually black obsidian here from Mount Shasta, which also, like smoky quartz, makes for a fantastic grounder of Luxus energy, which of course is a transmutation agent to ground the energy to Mother Earth for consistent reprocessing, as well as a way to psychically insulate the auric field from any intrusive energies that be bombarding to the conscious self. In conjunction with shungite, shungite is quite in vogue these days for its notoriety to mitigate harmful artificial 5G wavelengths coming from modern technology to, just like transmutation ratio, turn negativity into positivity by grounding to the earth, which is a nice little dose right there. Then at the very, very top of the talisman where the necklace eventually will be installed is a lovely piece of golden healer quartz. Golden healer quartz is an impeccable gold white light Christ frequency, central sun source alignment frequency. So even a small dose in a reactive circuit makes a very good connection point to that of the heart of creation, which is quite dramatic to say in a metaphysical dissertation video, but indeed that is the frequency alignment of the central sun of creation. So even a small dose goes a very long way. And the core itself, the wood seen right here, is actually oak. Here from my backyard, Mount Shasta, right at the tip of my pen, right there. That's where the oak came from, right there, between those two trees. which makes for a very good, strong foundational basis for the energy of this entire platform, which has its own notoriety in mythical legends of the wood of being, the wood of gods, kings, heroes, you name it. Its mythology is quite steep, particularly in the British Isles of Druidic tradition, but I digress. So this section I save for last always intentionally after this nearly 15-minute rant is the aspect of utilization of selenite, seen right here, where of course, the primary blade band is of the love shine, expansive love frequency can be found. The selenite plays a pretty crucial role in this entire construct, but I'll describe selenite individually as a tremendous 6th, 7th, 8th chakra stimulant, as well as all the non-subtle physical chakras back to one's highest self-connection Godhead, to creation, to the conscious self. So it makes a fantastic gateway, key, if you would, to one's higher self-perception, to the conscious self. And how it's also a master healer by its own right, with such a high frequency induction, also works to burn off any stagnant impure energies that be compromising the auric field. So by itself, that's quite the fantastic master healer to notarized. But the aspect also why it plays such a crucial role in light tech in general is the aspect of all these crystals mentioned thus far in nearly 16 minutes at this point. It can take all these frequencies in a closed loop reactive circuit. It can purify all these components, it can amplify all of them, and most importantly, harmonize all of them. So when you take the aspect of this entire composition with the self-purification, the amplification, and the harmonization to generate impeccable equilibrium, that is the triumphant trifecta of why selenite is so important in these constructs. And yes, that was quite the mouthful. And last but not least, I'll be discussing the kyanites mentioned here of black and blue kyanite, as well as green and orange kyanite. So the kyanite spectrums are quite vast to talk about in a linear, rational format, because it gets quite metaphysical, to say the least, but I'll do my best to keep it consolidated and relevant and comprehensive. So black kyanite makes for a very rapid transfer energy through the root chakra into the earth at a very quick rate, which can almost serve as an energetic surge protector to ensure the excess energy is always grinding the earth at a very, very rapid rate. So kyanites, for that matter, in the mineral kingdom are the most expansive transferabilities of energy that I get my hands on for my endeavors. So that aspect of having the 4 spectrums has a very diverse range of transferability. So, like I mentioned, black kyanite is a fantastic consistent grounder into the earth for energetic reprocessing. Then orange kyanite is a very fantastic sacrum stimulant to one's highest self configuration, a very powerful bridger of energy to the sacrum, the highest capacity. Then green kyanite is a fantastic heart stimulant that bridges very, very rapidly in that regard as well to the emanations of creation, of Father Sky, Mother Earth. Then going into blue kyanite back here to be a tremendous third eye stimulant of the right and left hemispheres of neural pathways to the optimal configuration, aka the third eye, awakened. So the 4 of them together also can serve as another rapid etheric Teflon to constantly diffuse and buffer the energy to the optimum equilibrium or calibration, if you would, to ensure the energy field of the recipient is always in an optimum, divine, expansive love frequency broadcast. So, like I mentioned, it makes for a great another etheric Teflon to ensure the frequency pathways rebuffering so quickly that negativity of any kind has a very hard time actually sticking to this entire field when in play and wielded. Alrighty, so in summary, of course this is designed to be worn by the recipient, so the energy pathways of having this installed in the person will be a very powerful love frequency generation with many different supporting themes to, of course, be a perpetual full light body activator by design, and to serve the recipient in the highest with the aspect of expansive love being the dominant vibration of this talisman before us. So that would basically be it. All this was described in under 20 minutes to my absolute surprise. I figured there'd be more to discuss, but it was very succinct, and I hope it was comprehensive. And I also pray anyone watching this has a beautiful, expansive love day.